Hi, 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 hi. Hey there. I said howdy. She said hi. My name is Tamara Hamilton. I blog about the business of you. I am here to help you monetize your life. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of lip scrub. And I am doing something I haven't done in a while. And that is, I have not put on makeup in a very long time. I want to say it has been since last fall that I last put makeup on. And probably since I did the podcast with my friend Kelly Buckley. And now I am actually getting ready to do a really short podcast interview with my friend Elaine the Brain Torso. And the podcast episode will be kind of like a commercial, some promotional activity for her online summit in the middle of the month. And the title of that is Elevate Your Online Presence. So while I do this, I thought I would talk a little bit about how I actually became a speaker. I don't say this to discourage anyone, but I will say that one of the things that I would be remiss if I didn't say it is that I did grow up going to the School of the Arts. Ooh, it's time to replace this brush, big time. I went to the School of the Arts, right? Even in my middle school as well, I was in a lot of theater productions, right? So I definitely have not had a fear of public speaking. I just don't have that. I'm just not even wired for that. It's just not my thing, okay? And that's because, like I said, my formal education has been such that, when I was working on my master's too, my undergraduate degree, a part of those curriculums were that you get up in front of the classroom and you do a lot of public speaking, like my capstone for my master's degree. Had to get up in front of the class and present and defend, my thesis. So public speaking has never been something that made me nervous or made me, want to throw up or fearful, run for the hills. That's just not something that has been a challenge for me. And I think because of that, and I just naturally, I think it just comes from my family, not just my upbringing, but who we are as people, that I have a voice and I ain't afraid to use it. So that has always helped work in my favor. And I say all of that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that it's basically a skill set, right? You can develop the skill of being able to speak and speak very well. Now, I do think, and I have considered before and just never did it, I do think that I want to go through something like Toastmasters to get better at my skill. And I don't see anything wrong with that, okay? So that I do think I want to do, because that's how you get to the bigger stages in that. Because sometimes I watch my videos, like, I will tell you, I'm a person that can get on video and just start talking. I can go live. Sometimes it is best for me to have a little bit of a guide, right? Like a note or outlined on the whiteboard, but at most, that's all I ever need is an outline. I don't really need a script. I just kind of am fluent that way. I know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, right? I know how to be on stage. Because like I said, being on stage is something that's just not new or frightening to me. So I do it pretty much with ease, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it also, okay? So you can definitely also do it. It's very easy to learn. And if anything, just look at it as a challenge and just be up to the challenge and take the challenge, right? So because I show up and I am seen, and the things that I talk about and the audience that I have built and different organizations I am involved with, people tend to present me with opportunities to speak and share my quote unquote expertise, right? Now, I have trained in corporate settings, like in corporate America. I developed training programs, and, you know, even in the world of 1099, selling and contract, I have traveled the country training, again, getting up and speaking in front of crowds, right? Very easy, something very easy for me to do. Boy, let me tell you, brows make the difference. Let me tell you. Ooh, baby. And we ain't even done yet. We just kind of starting it. So that is basically what's happened is, you know, by being out, being visible, speaking up, and sharing, it started with collaboration. I remember the first collaboration online was with a gentleman. I can't even remember his name, but oh my God, and it was early on too. It had to be like 2014, 2015. And he wanted me to come on, what was it back then? Google Hangout, and discuss Instagram and my Instagram growth strategy, because I was just exploding. That account actually no longer exists thanks to Instagram. And I came up with this presentation. I actually did an PowerPoint presentation for it. The 5 R's of Instagram. In fact, I think that video is still on YouTube. I think I still have that video on YouTube somewhere. So he asked me to do that, and, you know, just other opportunities came up. And I'll tell you, another great place to look is training courses and coaches and mentors that I've, you know, put my money on the table and taken their stuff, their courses, their training, and, you know, by being present, showing up and helping and serving, I've been given opportunities to speak to their audiences, right? To their students, to their clients, and on their podcasts and their blogs. And so, you know, you kind of start out being featured in doing collaborations, right? And it's like most things, it's who do you know that has an audience, and them inviting you, or there's nothing saying you can't pitch them and say, hey, I would like to be a guest. I would like to collaborate with you. I would like to be featured on your show. I think this is how your audience would benefit. I'll tell you, that's not something I've ever really done, because the opportunities tend to come to me, right? I just know that when you show that you aren't afraid and you actually know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and you have the results and the social proof and some type of personality, somebody is going to invite you, right? Someone will invite you. Someone will love to hear from you. The whole point is you can't hide. You gotta show up. You gotta show up. You gotta use your voice. Have voice, will use it. Repeat after me. Have voice, will use it, right? So when you have that voice and you use it and you are consistently using it, consistent in your message, and like I said, you get results. You help people get results. You come in with a servant attitude. This is why it's so important that everything isn't all about sell, 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 right? Everything is not about sell, sell, sell. If you show up and you serve, and you will naturally, number one, get some sales. I can tell you that. The sales will come. You will get some sales. But what will also happen is people will begin to see you as a trusted source and resource. And one of the things I think people don't do enough is they don't understand that they don't have to be, for example, if you sell shakes, you don't have to be a fitness coach, a weight loss coach. You don't have to reinvent who you are, right? So like if you are a clean mom, meaning you are into clean label products and being cognizant of what you're putting in your mouth, your children's mouths, on your family's table, and you love these shakes and you want to share them, you don't have to go from being a mom who is into clean products to all of a sudden you're a health and weight loss coach. No, but you are an expert in being a mom. You are an expert in, what research you do in your process. And it's like Gary Vaynerchuk says, just document that. I'm on the lookout. I'm looking for this, and these are the things that I found at Target, and let's test them out. And I'm going to give you an honest review of each one, right? So in that essence, you are becoming an expert, but like I said, you don't have to create an entire new identity, and you don't have to think that you don't have trust, that you can't build trust, that you don't have authority, because you do. You're building it, right? You're building it through who you are and sticking to that and being authentic with who you are and who you serve. You serve other clean moms who are, looking to lose some weight because they don't always get to the gym because they're taking care of their kids, right? And there are podcasts out there that serve women like you. And by listening to those podcasts, interacting with their content, by tagging them, posting that you're listening to it while you're putting your little one down the nap, now you've got their attention, and your content serving that audience, now you have some overlap, right? Because that's where your audience is hanging out, right? So if that's who you are, you don't want to go and be on a male podcast that's all about, a bro podcast that's all about women suck, right? And women don't take accountability and all these other things. That's not your audience. You want to go where your audience is, and your audience is hanging out, okay? And when you do that, you are now networking and creating social influence. You can be a product expert because you love and use a product regularly. So you can become a product expert, right? I always love giving the example of the book I read in undergrad about the guy who was the Prince of Darkness of Procter and Gamble, right? He was the CEO, and they would call him the Prince of Darkness, right? And so there was this whole book called The Making of a Soap Opera, and that really helped form my marketing career, because that book taught me and kind of confirmed something that just made sense to me. That most customer dissatisfaction has nothing to do with the product, right? in most cases. Now, there are cases where the product just misses, the product failed, bad packaging. That stuff does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But most of the time, that customer dissatisfaction is because they didn't read the instructions. They are not following the directions on how to, what order of operation. Do you put the pod in at the bottom of the laundry barrel and then put the laundry loosely on top of it? Right? And so if you put the fabric softener in right away, or do you put the fabric softener in the little thing of the washer that says fabric softener, and it's going to be released and release the fabric softener in the right part of the cycle, right? Those things matter. Those things matter a lot. Oh, this face is coming together. I guess I still got it, y'all. I guess I still got it, okay? So that stuff does matter, okay? And so by you being able and willing to do what the next customer isn't, you can teach them something that they did not know, right? And by doing that, you are becoming an influence and authoritative figure. See, you don't have to have hundreds of thousands of followers. By the way, that first collaboration, I probably had 500 Instagram followers, if that. Okay? But it was more, at least 5 times more than what the person who invited me to collaborate had. And that's where that power was, right? So everybody's smarter now than they were even back then. Everybody knows it's not about having a bunch of followers that aren't going to buy. It is also about, I need some foundation. Oh, there's a little bit that came out. It's about, making sure that you are providing value and you are helping. And when you do that, when you know who you serve, where they're hanging out, and you show up to serve them, same with Facebook groups. I've been given space in Facebook groups to speak and to serve and to help. So yeah, I'm a little light. Gotta get some sun, but that's okay. We'll just look a little tan. I like it. I dig it. I'm digging it. I did like how my cheeks were looking rosy there too. So speaking is something that you can literally create your own path into. Like I said, I kind of accidentally, I like to think it was God's plan how I wound up doing speaking. What was it? It's 2000. I get confused ever since 2020. I really, if y'all thought I didn't know what day or time it was on most days, I really don't know. Okay. And so I think it was 2020 or 2021. I was speaking, multiple speaking engagements, multiple online summits, in a week. I had to have spreadsheets to keep track. And then the next year I didn't do as many because I was tired. I was so tired from doing all of that because you got to help promote it. And yeah, it gets to be a lot. So, but it's fun, right? You get to you can grow your audience. So many other opportunities will arise from, speaking opportunities. For example, I had one, that year that turned into 3 different other opportunities to speak. And a lot of those speaking, especially when it's online summits, they come with, the ability to get affiliate links. And for me, I didn't care so much about the affiliate link as I did about, growing my audience. Because that's what happens. I always give the example of back when Oprah was still on broadcast TV, how if Tom Cruise or Halle Berry or whomever was having the big blockbuster of the summer, part of that contract is they go out and they help promote that movie. And whatever they get paid, that is included in their pay for the movie. That they go out on a press tour, basically, to promote the movie, right? And so the Oprah show was definitely one of those places that everybody would want to go and be on, because Oprah had the audience, right? And so by having Tom Cruise on her show, she's growing her audience. Tom Cruise is growing his audience, and the movie is growing their audience by being on the Oprah show, right? And so that's what's happening with a lot of like these online summits, for example, is everybody is growing their audience because everybody is bringing their email list. Now, I will say for some of the online summits, one of the requirements was that you had to have an email list of a certain size, usually at least 3,000, sometimes as high as 5,000. And since I've been building my email list for years, that was not a problem for me. But podcasts, you usually don't have to. So you can grow your audience by being on podcasts by simply having a freebie to offer at the end of the podcast, okay? You can grow your audience that freebie at the end of the podcast when they say, where can they find you? And, did you have something, a gift? Take a gift, show up just like you would to someone's house or their party with a bottle of wine, show up with your freebie that matches that audience and their need, and then they will opt in. And now they're on your email list, and you're growing your email list, and you're increasing your visibility, right? Elevating your online presence, okay? Love it. You can grow your online presence and your email list, and then you do that enough. What will happen is now you have enough to get on some of these online summits. And then there's also in-person speaking. And I have not done a lot of in-person speaking because it's just I don't know, it's a little more work than I care to do right now. You have to have all these different things, and I have not downloaded my signature presentation yet. So once I get my download of my online of my signature presentation, then I create that signature presentation. And then I create my one sheet so that people know what it's about. And then because I have my one sheet, then, people can choose to book me. And not all of this is for exposure. Some of this is for pay, right? You get to decide. Just know that if you are there to get paid, that's a little bit of a different thing. And there are some things that you will want to do, like, have a writer. I tend to have a writer if I'm getting paid or not. I have a writer, especially if it's for like an in-person training. That's more my shtick, is an in-person training than an in-person, hey you, than an in-person, like signature presentation, right? So that's just more my thing, but you do you, Bill. You do what works for you. So I will have a writer, if somebody wants me to show up, and especially when I was in the world of makeup, if somebody wanted me to show up at their home event and present, and I didn't show up to do makeup because I'm not a makeup artist, but if they wanted me to show up and present because I'm a very good salesperson, then I had a writer, right? You got to have this there. You got to have that there. Number one, part of my writer is the things that are, I have a reputation, right? So there are bare minimums to what I expect to be able to do what I do and do it best. So those are there. And then you can add little fun things, like certain celebrities and their writers, they have that, only green M&M, only green peanut M&Ms or something like that. Like, I don't go that serious with it, but I might say, you know, a bottle of this or a bottle of that, because I want to make sure my throat is adequately prepared, right? So you can do with it, like I said, what you want and what you feel is best for you. But online speaking, or just not online, but just, you know, public speaking is definitely a way to grow your audience. Now, I wouldn't bank my entire marketing strategy on it, especially if you are currently afraid. And then what some people do is they eventually start having their own events. Now, for me to do that, I gotta have a team, because sitting there and doing all them details and booking all that stuff, not my ministry. Not my ministry. Never been my ministry. Never gonna be my ministry. Okay? Not my ministry. So I think I'm actually going to attempt to put on some lashes today. And I am definitely going to need to pull out some scissors. So bear with me while I grab them. They're not far at all. I just don't have super stretch long arms. And it might be a good time to wet my whistle. Yum. My get up and go. Okay. I always pretty much know how much to cut off. I don't have to measure it, but you may need to. Like, I know I pulled it out. Okay. You know, the speaking thing can be fun. Can be a lot of fun. It's the admin stuff that I don't really like. Because when you sign up, everybody has a different process. And, you know, like, you can create a sheet, right, of your bio and your headshot and all that. But everybody has a different way of how they want it submitted. And that's when I'm like, okay, to go big, I definitely have to have an assistant, because admin stuff is just not my thing. I do not enjoy the admin type stuff. I enjoy more of this. Getting pretty, sharing what I know, and serving, helping. That's more my thing. Tamara, you have a mirror right here. Let's look in it. Girl, that was good. That was dang good for you to not have done lashes in a minute. I guess some things you just don't lose. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Now, usually I actually use like a cuticle scissor, but I moved in September, and like all my makeup and stuff is still pretty much packed away, or packed like I would, because last summer I basically lived between my old place and my daughter's house, because I spent so much time with my grandbabies. And what did I do with the lash adhesive? Right here in front of my face. And so everything is still packed in because I haven't been in it frequently. Because I had a makeup room. I will not have a makeup room now. I do not have one. I will not be having one anytime soon. And I'm okay with that. Okay, and we have lashes on. I have not had lashes on in a minute, but I love lashes. I should start wearing them more frequently again. I love me some lashes. But I cannot be on a video recorded podcast without them. As much as I love my natural face and skin, because let me tell you, everybody can't rock it like I do. And yes, I said it. Run tell that. Just talking trash. Talking trash. Now, I just saw that brush. There it is. We're going to smudge the lower lash line a little bit. See the difference? And I might even darken it just a little bit. Perfect. I could have and should have done something a little more spring, given that Easter is coming, but I don't even have any inspiration for that because makeup videos just are not what they used to be. I don't even know what the hottest palette is right now. I just know that Juvia's Place is my jam for eyeshadows because I'm dark skinned and they are made by a dark skinned woman for everybody, but they don't disclude dark skinned women, and I love that. So that's important to me. We're gonna lash up the lower lash line just a little bit, and we're gonna do the top just enough to bring my lashes into the lashes, and that's how you know they're on good, when you do that and they don't lift or move. Okay. And then I actually like to take the end and just point it. I will do just a little bit of contour because again, I'm gonna be on video and that's what that stuff was really made for. So I don't do a lot of it for GP anymore. I really only do all of this when I am going to be on somebody's camera other than my own. Okay. So I already got a little bit of natural contour going. So we're just gonna add a little bit. I feel like this is a little light. Is there another one? This is just how long it's been since I've done my makeup. I'm gonna go over it with powder anyway, so it doesn't matter. Really chisel. Y'all know me, I like to chisel that. See how it just erases it? That's what we like to do. We like to party. What? We like to party. And just bring it down. It's just real light, nothing super duper heavy. Just give it some shape because I don't have much of a nose bridge. And I just don't feel like this is my right contour palette, but that's okay. We'll make it work. And like I said, I'll be going over all of it with a brush, okay? until we already got some natural light highlight going there. I don't feel the need to do a whole lot more there. And then I clean up along there a little bit. I definitely will be going with a soft blush. Something kind of pink. Okay. There's that. And we're gonna use Juvia's Place to contour. See, this is the other thing. Now, I gotta clean all this up when I get done with this video. I'm not gonna wanna do that, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a darker contour powder over it. Just cause your girl will be needing. Oh, look. Oh, baby. When that line get there, can't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? And you want to know the funniest thing about what the subject at hand is actually today, which is, you know, collaborating. When I came online, like, to monetize, it was beauty. But, and granted, my undergraduate, graduate, and most of my career is marketing or sales. What is not marketing, it was sales. And that is literally, you know, I came on doing makeup, but people wanted to talk to me about marketing. Okay. I've done a lot more collaborations with regard to marketing than makeup. So just know that, right? So again, whatever your wheelhouse is what you are going to lead with, and the rest will take care of itself. It truly, truly will. Now a little soft pink. Then I like to and I think boys and girls, because I don't know where an eyeliner is right now, and I'm not going to stress about it. We're just going to leave it like this. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my lips, but I'm not even on camera for a whole other hour and 45 minutes, but face is ready. Face is ready, okay? So, if you learned nothing today, show up, be seen, have voice. And because I am gonna wear something maybe off the shoulders, I am going to actually come back over here. And really get going here. Get that good glow. Now, and I'm gonna go back over here to Juvia's Place and pop my collar. for now, we're just gonna put on some lip gloss. So y'all have something to look at. And I will have a different, more defined lip when I go on, or I might just do this, because we are all about minimalism these days, right? So show up, have voice, we'll use it. And if they don't come to you, there is nothing wrong with you going to them, right? There's nothing wrong with you going to them. You can go to them and you can say, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's who I serve, and here's what I think your audience, how they fit in that, and how this presentation, this talk, this freebie will serve who it is that you serve, okay? So it's not that difficult to become a speaker, but you will not be a speaker, you will not be heard if you don't open your mouth and you don't speak. If you keep your mouth closed, a closed mouth will not get fed. You gotta open your mouth, okay? You gotta show up, you gotta be seen, and you don't have to have a million gazillion followers. You don't have to reinvent yourself and become something completely different. What is it that you already know? What do you know? What do you know really well? And how can you take that and serve others? Who do you serve with what it is that you know? Because I'm telling you, there's this whole market of people out here that is ignorant, for lack of a better word. They have not been taught life skills. They have not been taught basic daily activities of living. And you can become a multiple six-figure, even seven-figure entrepreneur just by serving that market and teaching basic, simple things. There's a reason why there's clean talk on TikTok, and there's a reason why there are cleaning videos that go viral, because people just don't know. And I'm gonna tell you, some of that stuff that people are teaching ain't right. There's a reason, right? There is a reason for that. So your voice matters, but you gotta show up and you gotta use it, okay? So I feel like I'm looking cute, and it was pretty effortless. I feel like, are you really sure you're done already? Are you girl? That highlight though. And I didn't even go in on it like I've been known to do. I didn't. But I'll be 50 in January. Road to 50. I took the platinum pledge. I'm gonna be living, looking, and feeling my best this summer, and I invite you to do it with me. Okay? If you want information on that, just hit your girl up and I'll tell you all about it. But I'm gonna go because it's time to go in the green room, time to go into meditation, receive the message so that I can deliver the message, and get dressed and all of that. So I will talk to you later. Bye.